Groat, how you doing?
Hey, WSN, long-time listener, first-time caller.
I love your formality. Groat, what's on your mind?
So I'm interested in kind of getting started in PVM. I really only have probably 40 kills on bosses, but they're, the Hill Giant boss, Moss Giant boss, and then Burrows. And I'm late level, like 70 combat levels and stuff like that. So I have a blowpipe and stuff, but I just feel like Barrows is almost not helpful to my account. And I don't know where the next step is, right? I see all these different bosses. I just don't know where to go next, though.
Very interesting. Okay, Groat, what attracts you to PVM?
I mean, I think it was actually hit on in the Q&A today, but it's just like that general. It seems like PVM is the best way of actually getting some resources. It's kind of silly, but instead of actually doing the gathering skills like most people, it actually seems that it is better or more fitting to actually try to do PVM to get those items.
Okay, so are you playing on an Iron Man account or a main account?
This is a main account.
This is a main account. I think that this answer is definitely affected by what type of account you're playing, and you just told me that you're playing on a main account. I think the word resources, when you're playing on a main account, really just comes down to GP. GP per hour. When I think of PVM, I think of it less in terms of how much money am I going to get, even though that's always a factor, but rather what experience am I going to have? And not like what range experience am I going to get, what strength experience am I going to get, but rather what real life experiences am I going to have when I'm doing this. You've done Hill Giant, you've done the Moss Giant, you've done Barrows. Have you done any other bosses?
I've done a couple mole, but I don't have my arm spanning adventure. So
did you do mole because you've been wondering this question for a while and you looked up what the easiest bosses were?
Yeah, I mean, kind of, yeah.
Grout, excellent prompt. Thanks for the question. What's the first step? Where do you go? Well, PVM is about the experience. It's about the game. You can really, really break this game down into black and white moments where on a main account, sometimes it just comes down to, am I doing the most efficient thing right now? And that can be in terms of experience per hour or GP per hour. So then the color really comes in to, am I having fun in the game or not? So what's fun? Did you enjoy killing the mole? Having to do 300, I think it was 500 kills of mole, which I didn't actually complete in Trailblazer. Mole is not that fun of a boss. And the Hill Giant boss and the Moss Giant boss, those two are very specifically, I believe, just little dopamine boosters in your long, boring Hill Giant and Moss Giant slaying tasks or just training tasks. They hardly seem like bosses in my mind. Categorically, they are bosses, but you're not allowed. Jagex doesn't allow you to just keep on killing them over and over and over again. Barrows, I think categorically they're they're on the boss high scores, but they're like what's the word that they use? Are they demi bosses or something? Mini bosses? So you've done mole. I would say that's definitely a boss, but it's a tedious one. It's not fun. So let's do something that's fun, that's satisfying. You said that you're 70s in combat. You've got the blowpipe, I think you said. I'm not extraordinarily experienced with PVM. I look around me and I see some people that are really into it. And these PVM heads, okay, it was blowpipe. These PVM heads are people who do Chambers of Xeric all day. They do Theater of Blood all day. And what that tells me is once you get to that level, it becomes really satisfying to do, really fun to do with friends, and then also just extremely profitable. I'm not at that point, and you're possibly going on this journey that has that as its endpoint. What I have found to be extremely, extremely satisfying in bossing, and this is just my personal experience, but Vorkath was a great, great, fun starting point for me. I know he's locked behind a lot of quests. A lot of quests that you probably haven't done as someone with, 70 combat stats. Zulrah was extremely satisfying for me to learn over time. I pulled up this website that gave the steps on how to fight Zulrah, and it was great. I actually had like a lot of satisfaction with it, and I didn't mind dying. I just lived the experience. It was super fun. Jad is something that everyone needs to do. I'm sure you've done that. If you haven't, let that be your first heart-racing boss that you defeat, overcome, triumph over. There are other bosses around there. Training a ton of Slayer will lead you to them occasionally. If you've got time, if you have the ability to AFK somewhere, head on over to some Ammonite crabs. Get just AFK your stats up a little bit, or train a bunch of Slayer. It'll get your combat stats up. And, 70s is a little low to be doing Vorkath, to be doing Zulrah. I'll totally admit that. Unless you change your mindset to, taking it on as a challenge is fun. But I think that you also do want to have those resources in mind, like you said. So I think that your first action step is literally to go AFK at Ammonite crabs, or if you want to take the active route, get on some Slayer grinds. On your Slayer journey, you'll be led to the Kraken at some point, Thermonuclear Smoke Devil. And then, as time goes on, as your Slayer gets even higher, you'll just naturally be led over to Cerberus. At some point, you'll choose to do God Wars. You're already ready to do that, but you'd need a group of friends to go along with you. And it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Like I said in the first question, doing things with other people, super fun to do. So you might get a group of friends together and head on over to God Wars, today. And they'll take you on as a noob, and they'll understand that, and they'll be ready to have fun with you too. I would train some stats as your first action step, and then just really tear into the process of learning the steps. I personally have great, great memories with Zulrah. Really enjoyed it. Okay, I hope that helped.